All right, so from the home page, go ahead and click on Revit Download. And then from here, if you've already, click on Autodesk link, and that will take you to the page where you need to be to download Revit. If you're in the lab, you don't need to download Revit. We already have it on the machines here, but this process you're going to repeat at home so that you can get Revit downloaded on a personal machine. So over here we've got sign in. If you took CAD and you already downloaded software, you're probably in the sign in category. If this is your first time downloading an Autodesk product, go ahead and click on create account. So everybody should at least create an account while you're here in the lab. I'm going to give you guys some time to do that. I'm going to go ahead and click on sign in, and then we'll walk through the process. Oops. Whoops. I'll get there eventually. There we go. Okay, just take a peek at my screen for a moment. So do you guys see now it says welcome back Naima Nawabi? That's where you want to be at home. Okay, not necessarily here, but when you're home, this is the point where you want to get to. So welcome back. This is where it used to say sign in or create an account. This is where you know that you've gotten far enough. Lindy, I'll come help you. I got it. Okay. Cool. All right, good. So with this, it's going to ask me a couple more questions, but let me pause and kind of poll the crowd. So let me continue recording. I think it's going to ask me the same thing. Oh, never mind. Add to profile? Okay, fine. What else do you want from me? Okay, so verify now. This is new for me. So my email address, this is from my school. I guess right now it just wants to verify that I'm actually a student or an instructor and I'm not just mooching off the system. So we'll see if this works. Okay, that was easy. Ashley, is it giving you more steps than that? Maybe? Okay, I'll come help you.
No. Oh, crap. Do I need to make another account with my student email?
Not necessarily, because what it'll do is you can use like a Gmail account that's not associated with the school, but then it'll ask you like, hey, if you are a student, give us your student email, like the .edu, and we need to they'll probably send you an email at the .edu to verify that you're actually a student. So I'll come take a peek at yours in just one sec, but really they're just trying to verify that you're a student. Lindy, did that happen to you too?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take a peek at why.
Because I've had it for more than a year, my student license.
You can have student licenses for as long as you're in school, whether it's a year or 10 years, but you get 3 years to use one software, which isn't a big deal because in 2023, we don't want to be using Revit 2020. We want to be using that current version, so that's not even a big deal. But let me walk through this part, so at least you'll have these notes when you get home to try it. Under your license type, you want personal or individual. We want 2020 because that's what we use in the lab. So I want your version at home to be exactly what we're using here, so our screens match. And then operating system, this is irrelevant now because you have to have a Windows 64-bit machine. And then don't try to impress me, especially you, Soren, with your French skills. Just do it in English. Okay, English is great, all right. And then once I fill out these, and when you guys get there and you fill these out, do you see that we've got the serial number and the product key? This is where we get into the unknown. Sometimes if you hit install now, when you're at home, not here, it automatically remembers your product key and your serial number. Like it's embedded into the install and you never have to put it in. But you might find that when you hit install now and the first time you launch Revit, it says, welcome to your 30-day trial, or to activate your software, give me your serial number and your product key. This is where the product key lives. So you'll just have to log back in here and it's a copy and paste, right? Everybody followed me on that? let me go back to the very beginning. So before you leave, make sure you have an Autodesk account. So I'll help you guys make sure you have one before you go. Make sure you're on a Windows machine. So there's a few of you who are kind of on your own for a little bit. Let me know how that goes, or find a Windows machine to use. After that, come back into your Autodesk account. What software are we downloading? Revit, which one? What version?
2020.
Perfect. Revit 2020 is what we want. And then if it asks you for your serial number or product key, are you guys going to find that in Canvas, on your Autodesk account, or from your best friend? Autodesk account, good. You want to come back here, and this is where it is. And so this says install up to 2 personal devices. What I have found is I have had people go through like 3 or 4, and it was still okay. And if it isn't, call Autodesk and let them know to deactivate one of them, because in the middle of the semester, you might have one on a desktop and one on the laptop dies, or you get a new one, so you at least need it on a third. They do have the power to deactivate one of them so you can get it onto the new device. They're usually pretty flexible with that. So that's our first thing, just making sure you have Revit on a computer so that you can practice at home. We're going to save the princess. It's going to be like my thing for the next little bit. This is where we'll start. On Thursday, we're going to do a big overview of the program. I'm essentially going to show you this is what it does, this is what BIM modeling is, and how you actually work with it. And then a week from today, we're going to build a little teeny tiny house. Walls, windows, doors, a roof, maybe some notes. We're going to do a tiny house in one day. Just so you can see how it works, we're going to suffer through it together. I just like to throw it all at you. And then after you see what it does and understand that Revit basically asks you the same thing over and over again, we're going to break down each one. How do you build better walls? How do you build more specific walls? How do you put in better windows, more specific windows? So we're just going to keep kind of building on everything. Okay? So I have 2 people that I need to help. Any other general questions that I can address from today? Big first day of class. Okay? Remember, you will be successful by just knowing that you're already showing up. Just keep showing up. You're not supposed to know Revit. You're just supposed to practice, right? We're all going to be practicing together. We've got 16 weeks to be really, really good at it, but I don't expect that from the beginning. And then really the biggest thing that you can do is just to keep showing up like you did today. That will be that will make the biggest difference, just the time that you put into it. Okay?